Hello and welcome to Byju's Exam Prep IAS. Let's get started and look into our daily quiz. Before we start with our today's practice questions, we have two important announcements. The first is in reference to the weekly current affairs explain session, and as part of this, tomorrow's lecture would be with respect to Enforcement Directorate raids. Please do tune in live on our YouTube channel at 8 p.m. so that you understand everything about this topic. The second announcement is in reference to the free workshop that will be conducted by Shruti Sharma, who happens to be the All India Ranking 1 for the UPSC CSE 2021, and this will be exclusively available on the BYJU'S Exam Prep application. So what is that you have to do? Download the application and register for the workshop and attend this workshop on our exam prep application on 6th of August at 6 p.m. Let's get started and look into the first question. Hellfire R9X missile, also known as Ninja Bomb, recently in news was developed by which country? China, Russia, USA, UK. The answer to this is United States of America. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Hindu makes a reference to the Hellfire missiles. What is the context? Al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri was killed in US drone airstrike in Afghanistan. This was developed by Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman. The Hellfire missile has another variant such as Longbow and Romeo apart from the Ninja. So what we see is the Ninja missile. This happens to be a Reaper drone carrying the missile. It flies over the target. The missile is then dropped from the drone and locks onto the target, and what it has is 6 blades before smashing into the target. It was under development since 2011, born out of emphasis under President Barack Obama on avoiding civilian deaths in US airstrikes, has no warhead. Instead, it plunges whirring metal blades through the buildings and cars to kill the target, and al-Zawahiri was standing on the balcony when he was killed. Are there previous precedents as well? Yes. In 2017, the Ninja missile was reportedly used to kill the then number 2 leader of Al-Qaeda, Abu Qayyar al-Masri in Syria. It was also used against other targets in Syria at around the same time. It has also been used against Taliban targets in Afghanistan in 2020 and again in 2022. So this happens to be a missile which was developed by United States of America. Now let's look into the next practice question. The Central Vigilance Commissioner and the Vigilance Commissioners shall be appointed by the President on the recommendation of a committee consisting of Prime Minister, Minister of Home Affairs, Leader of the Opposition in the Upper House, Chief Justice of India or Judge of the Supreme Court, Leader of the Opposition in the Lower House. The answer to this is 1, 2 and 5 only, which means what we will have is a committee consisting of the Prime Minister, Minister of Home Affairs and the Leader of Opposition in the Lower House, which happens to be the Lok Sabha. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Hindu makes a reference to the Central Vigilance Commissioner. So when we speak about the Central Vigilance Commissioner, he is appointed by a committee consisting of Prime Minister, Home Minister and Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha and not Leader of Opposition in the Rajya Sabha. And if the CVC has to be removed, the government has the prerogative to remove such people. This is when the member is adjudged as an insolvent, if the central government holds him responsible for an offence involving moral turpitude or he is convicted for such an offence, if he becomes a part of the office of profit, if he is declared unfit by reason of infirmity of mind or body by the President, if he is found interested in financially driven activities or such other interests which can likely affect prejudicially his official functions. However, if it is on the grounds of misbehavior, in such a case, they have to refer it to the Supreme Court. And whatever the Supreme Court says, they have to follow it accordingly. Now let's look into the next practice question. Consider the following statements. Sultan Quli Qutb Mulk founded the city of Hyderabad. The Qutb Shahi dynasty came to an end when the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb arrested and jailed Sultan Abu Hassan Qutb Shah for the rest of his life. Which of the statements given above are incorrect? Since it is asking for the incorrect statement, the answer to this is one only. Now let's look into the next question. The Sunderlal Committee appointed by Jawaharlal Nehru is closely related to annexation of Hyderabad, Assam and Arunachal Pradesh border dispute, defense production and procurement, states reorganization. The answer to this is it is closely related to annexation of Hyderabad. Why have we taken both these practice questions? Because this article on the Hindu makes a reference to Muhammad Qutb Shah as well as the Sunderlal Committee report. When we speak about Muhammad Qutb Shah, he was the fifth Sultan of Qutb Shahi dynasty of Golconda and founded the city of Hyderabad, and it was not Sultan Qutb ul Mulk, but the Qutb Shahi dynasty or the Golconda Sultanate was known as the ruling family of the Sultanate of Golconda. It was situated in South India. The Qutb Shahi dynasty was ruled by Shia Muslims who belonged to the Turkmen tribe from the Turkmenistan Armenia region. This dynasty was founded by Sultan Qutb Shah Mulk in 1518. However, do note the city of Hyderabad was founded by Muhammad Qutb Shah. The dynasty ruled for about 171 years until the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb's army conquered Golconda in 1687. Since it is asking for the incorrect statement, the first statement is incorrect. When we look into the second part of the question, the Sunderlal Committee, yes, was appointed by Jawaharlal Nehru, and this is closely related to the annexation of Hyderabad. What exactly happened? India did conduct Operation Polo. This was the code name for the Hyderabad police action back in the year 1948. It is said that this particular operation led to massive violence and violations by few police officers. To investigate what these events are, what was appointed was the Sunderlal Committee. So this Sunderlal Committee was in the backdrop of annexation of Hyderabad. Now let's look into the next practice question. Which of the following countries are part of Mineral Security Partnership? Australia, India, Japan, New Zealand, Sweden, United Kingdom and USA. The answer to this is 1, 3, 5, 6 and 7. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Indian Express makes a reference to Mineral Security Partnership. What is this Mineral Security Partnership? Who are the members? When we speak about the members, we have United States of America, followed by Australia, Canada, Finland, France, Germany, Japan, Republic of Korea, Sweden, United Kingdom and European Commission. Do we have India and New Zealand as part of it? No. India and New Zealand are not part of this Mineral Security Partnership. So what is this Mineral Security Partnership? There are some of the rare elements that are very critical for number of industries. China happens to be one of the leading producer of these minerals. As of now, many countries are not in good terms with China, but China may not export these minerals in the near future. In order to avoid it, in order to make sure that there is continuous supply of these minerals, all these countries have come together and they want to make sure that these critical elements, these critical minerals are supplied constantly for all these countries. So what did they come up with is called as the Mineral Security Partnership, where this happens to be an initiative to bolster critical mineral supply chains. Rare earth comprises 17 elements and are classified as light Re elements and heavy Re elements. Some Re are available in India such as lanthanum, cerium, neodymium, praseodymium and samarium, while some others like dysprosium, terbium, europium that are classified as HREE are not available in the Indian deposits in extractable quantity. Hence, there is a dependence on countries such as China for HREE, which is one of the leading producers of Re with an estimated 70% of the global production. India is not part of it, but in all likelihood it may speak, and we don't know whether it would be part of this partnership or not. India currently is not part of the Mineral Security Partnership. Why was India not added? That is because many people say that India did not find a place in the grouping. That is because it does not bring much of the expertise to this particular partnership. When you consider countries like Australia and Canada, yes, they have reserves, they also have technology to extract them, and countries like Japan have the technology to process them, but India does not have so. As a result, they may have not included India as part of this partnership. So basically, this is an alliance or a partnership primarily focusing on evolving an alternative to China, which has created processing infrastructure in rare earth minerals and has acquired mines in Africa for elements such as cobalt. Now let's look into the next practice question. Which one of the following statements best reflects the issue which Senkaku Islands sometimes mentioned in the news? It is generally believed that they are artificial islands made by a country around South China Sea. China and Japan engage in maritime disputes over these islands in the East China Sea. A permanent American military base has been set up there to help Taiwan to increase its defense capabilities. International courts of justice declared them as no man's land. Some Southeast Asian countries claim them. Which of the statements is correct description of the Senkaku Islands issue? The answer to this is B, which happens to be China and Japan engage in maritime disputes over these islands in the East China Sea. This happens to be a previous year question from the year 2022. Now let's look into the fact of the day. The fact of the day for today's discussion is National Anti-Doping Bill. Let us try and understand what is this bill all about. First, let us understand the meaning of doping. What exactly happens? We have number of athletes or sports persons. They are not supposed to consume few of the prohibited substances. These prohibited substances should not be consumed because this will enhance their performance. So doping basically is when a sports person or an athlete consumes those prohibited substances which are barred by the sport, which will increase their enhancement, which will increase their performance, is what is called as doping. So to prevent this doping, what we have is the National Anti-Doping Bill. So the legislation prohibits all these athletes, athlete support personnel and other persons from engaging in doping in sports. Under the new legislation, violation of anti-doping rules may result in disqualification of the sports person, forfeiture of the medals, points and the prizes, ineligibility to participate in the competition or an event for a prescribed period of time. So if an individual is caught with doping after the test, in that case, if the person is caught with evidence, after he is caught with evidence, his medals will be taken off, prizes will be taken off, and he would not be able to contest for a suitable period of time. What are the key provisions of the legislation? The bill is intended to provide a statutory framework for the operation of the National Anti-Doping Agency, the National Dope Testing Laboratory and other dope testing laboratories, and for the creation of a national board for anti-doping in sports to strengthen anti-doping activities in sports. So when we speak about National Anti-Doping Agency, it seeks to give NADA powers of investigation, levying sanctions for anti-doping rule violations, the disciplinary procedures to be adopted, and the powers of inspection, sample collection and sharing and free flow of information. So basically, it is this particular institution which will help in planning, implementing, monitoring all the anti-doping activities as well as investigating anti-doping rules violations as well. Until now, it was established as a society, but now with this particular bill that is introduced, it will be provided a statutory provision. The bill also proposes to establish National Board for Anti-Doping in Sports with a view to make recommendations to the government on anti-doping regulations and compliance with international commitments on the anti-doping. So the board will see all the activities of NADA and also issue directions to it as well. What is the significance of this particular legislation? This legislation will ensure higher standards of integrity while participating and preparing for the sports competitions domestically as well as internationally. It will protect the rights of all sports persons, ensure time-bound justice to the athletes, enhances cooperation among agencies in fighting doping in sports, reinforces India's commitment to international obligations for clean sports, independent mechanism for anti-doping adjudication, creating job opportunities both directly and indirectly, creating opportunities for academic research, science and manufacturing relating to anti-doping, and establishing standards for manufacturing of nutritional supplements for sports in India. So basically, this will protect the interest of the sports persons and at the same time other sports related activities in India. But there is an issue with this particular legislation as well. We did discuss what we require is an independent mechanism for anti-doping adjudication. But when it comes to NADA, what we will have is the appointment of the Director General. WADA requires the national doping organizations to be independent in their functioning. But what is happening in the present situation? The bill says that the qualifications of the Director General are not specified and they will be let notified by the rules. If it is by the rules, a lot of discretion will be given to the government, and whenever this person has to be removed on the grounds of misbehavior or incapacity or any other grounds, more discretion will only be given to the central government, which may affect the independence of National Anti-Doping Agency. Ideally, it should have been put out in the statutes, but the government has said it will come out with the rules, and if it is through the rules, the government will have a lot of discretion, ultimately violating some of the independence principles when it comes to the National Anti-Doping Agency. It is this that we have to understand with respect to this article. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching. All the best.